After marriage, using a marriage license instead of a marriage contract, but using a marriage license through the state, that means she has zero legal obligations after the ring is on her finger. And that's why you have so many divorces,
Hmm.
especially in the United States. There's no downside for a woman in a divorce,
Uh-oh.
but that's why we have to change the culture on it. And if you use a motto marriage contract, especially, I posted that on my Facebook page. That contract, once it's recorded on the public record, for any court to come in and try to claim jurisdiction over the offspring, try to claim jurisdiction over the marriage, that's impossible, because the first thing that gets filed in any divorce action is the marriage license. Why? Because that's the authority, that's the evidence that the husband and the wife entered into an agreement with the state up here. And there is a solid line down to the husband, a solid line down to the wife. And this is a diagram that exists, by the way. It's patented, it's copyrighted. But between the husband and the wife, there's a dotted line. So you're a welder, fabricator. You and I both know if you're looking at a set of blueprints and there's a dotted line, it bears no weight. There is no connection there. And that's exactly what happens when we have a marriage license from any one of these corporations calling themselves a state, a county, or anything else. Now you've handed jurisdiction of the kids over to that company, especially if they decide they want a divorce. But with the motto marriage contract, it specifically says in the event of a divorce, the kids belong to dad. Unless you can prove that he's a danger to the kids belong to dad. There is no child support. There is no palimony, alimony, maintenance. You're going to have to get out off your fat ass and go earn your own goddamn living. Stop sponging off of men that are better than you. And I say that better than them because men can still raise kids alone successfully. But 90% of all inmates in the United States being raised by single mothers, I think that kind of ends the discussion as to whether or not women are capable of actually raising kids alone, much less even supporting themselves most of the time.
Well, I definitely think the male role model is important, 100%. And I think we've lost that. Like you say, men have been demasculated, masculinity has been demonized.
Yep.
The state have taken over the control of your kids, so you can't smack your kids, you can't do this. And so the world's a bit of a mess at the moment. You're right. And I think that it's very important that we get back to the family unit. I think that's where a lot of our troubles have probably gone wrong, where we have drifted apart. You know, there's families who'd all sit around watching the TV, watching our favourite programs. Now the kids are upstairs on their devices, we're downstairs watching something on the TV. Even like at that basic level, there's fractures. And
Yeah.
so when you magnify that over civilization, it's a recipe for disaster.
It really is. I mean, I just turned 50, so I go back far enough now to where I remember when kids played outside. You know, you remembered everybody's phone number because we had to dial it by hand.
Yep, smartphones make you thick.
Yeah. And, you know, now everything is so automated, but more importantly, the saddest thing I ever see when I go out is I'll look at a table of 6 quote unquote friends sitting there when they're all ignoring each other. They're looking at their little computer screens, their telephones. And that's part of why I started Motto Ministries and the Veterans Hot Springs Ranch project that we're doing in Montana.